Alrighty, everyone. Good afternoon. Just checking if is everyone hearing properly?
Yes.
Thank you for that confirmation, Brianna. All right, so it's now 3:06. That means that we're right upon starting time. So I hope that you are all prepared, all or at least in the preparation process. All right. So let me just quickly introduce myself. I am Rowan Saw. Um, I am one of two tutors for this subject area, CSEC Spanish. Along with me is Delmica Johnson. She will introduce herself in short order. But we will be just a quick rundown of what we'll be doing today. We'll just be going through some past papers. Seeing that we're also small in number, I do crave your what do I call it, your support and your understanding, because we really want to get through as much past papers as we can. So just asking for your cooperation as well, because we this session is going to be a very interactive session. So we look forward to hearing your responses, especially seeing that you should be well prepared. So you guys should be firing on all cylinders. So we don't expect silence. We expect some at least some level of communication, whether that be via the chat or um, through the mic. Just want to hear some feedback as it pertains to the different questions. All right. Again, we're here to assist. So any way that we can provide assistance, please let us know. Right? Alrighty. It is Danica, you can go ahead and let's do a quick introduction.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Delmica Johnson, and I'm the other tutor for the Spanish Marathon today. And just to reiterate what other tutors said, it's a small group, so it would really be helpful if you guys contributed, whether, as you said, through the mic or in the chat, so the process goes more smoothly. Um, so I thank you guys in advance for your preparation, and I hope that you find the session to be informative and helpful in some way. Okay.
Thank you, Danica. Right. So are we all prepared? Are we all ready? Can I just get a quick um, feel in the chat? How is everyone doing? Is everybody prepared, somewhat prepared, not prepared? Just how are we doing so we can kind of gauge how we go about uh communicating with you guys. Can I just get a preparedness check? If you're prepared, you can just type prepared in the chat. If you're not prepared, if you're somewhat prepared, so we can just kind of see how we can attack this. Any responses in the chat? None yet. No responses. Somewhat prepared, very prepared, not prepared at all. All right, Brianna said somewhat prepared. No one else? Not prepared. All right. Anyone else? So we can kind of get some ideas. All right, so we have two responses so far. I hope that when we start the past papers, we can have a better sense of preparedness, hopefully. All right, so let's just get straight into it. Let's not waste any further time. Alrighty. So this is a past paper, May 2023. All right. Let's just quickly run through this and probably see how best we can get this done. All right. Again, please, we're not expecting for us to just be telling you answers. What we want to do is hear from you guys as well. Um, and we can go about whether that be amending your answers or giving you suggestions, but we don't really intend on just giving you answers because, especially with Spanish, it's one of those subjects that perspective is appreciated. In other words, there's no one right answer, right? That's why they give a lot of open-ended questions, all right? So they expect you to not only think outside the box, but you know, have creative answers because some questions would call for that creativity, right? So can we get straight into the questions? Let's go right ahead. So this section, so this is the paper two, as we know. This is the free response section. The instructions, please read the instructions carefully before you even attempt it, because it's always important. You don't want to miss out on marks or lose marks because of not following instructions, right? So it tells you that this paper comprises of 4 questions in 4 different sections. We're going to answer all the questions, so we're not skipping out any. Answer all questions. Write your answers in the spaces provided in the booklet, right? And do not write in the margins, please, because I'm assuming it scans a certain way, so you don't want your answer to be missed. And if you need to rewrite any answer, there's not enough if and there's not enough space to do so on the original page, you must use the extra lined pages provided at the back of this booklet. And remember to draw a line through your original answer. So if the case is where you want to omit it, draw a line through it. You don't have to shade it out. Just draw a singular line through it. If you use the extra pages, you must please pay special attention to this. You must write the question number clearly in the box provided, right? At the top of the extra pages, and where relevant, include the question part beside the answer. And please. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. All right, so section 1, this is where we have direct, the direct, the directed situations, and we're going to answer all the questions as we were told prior. Write in Spanish, not in English, please. The information required for each of the situations given below. Do not write more than 1 sentence for each situation. For some, a complete sentence may not be necessary. Do not translate the situation given, and do not use abbreviations. You will be penalized, as they say here, for disregarding the instructions. Okay? So remember, again, I'm going to emphasize this because prior students would have made the error. Do not write more than 1 sentence for each situation. As we know, a sentence ends with a full stop. So once the full stop is there, that is regarded as your 1 sentence, right? Ensure that the whole response fits in 1 sentence, right? Once you begin another one, it's immediately disregarded. So please, no more than 1 sentence. For some situations, however, a complete sentence may not be necessary. Again, there's no need for you to translate the situation, so please don't waste time to translate. And no abbreviations. Ensure that whatever you want to abbreviate, again, me personally, I'd try to stay away from them. You'd write out the full name, not in English, but in Spanish. All right, so let me you want to take over from this section.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
The, all right, did someone ask for me to repeat?
Yes, it sounded you broke up at the end. I didn't hear
Oh,
what you
bro.
said.
Oh, no. Oh, I was just asking if you want to take over this section. Well, I'll be here as well.
Okay, sure. So, starting with A, your football coach has canceled today's practice. Write the text message that he sent to the team saying why practice was cancelled and suggesting another meeting time. So, does anybody have any idea of a suitable response for this one? You don't have to say it with the mic, you can text in the chat. Doesn't even have to be the full response. It can be just what you're thinking, any a part of it. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. Just an idea. Any ideas?
And might I quickly interject here, Jamaica? What I find is that a lot of students try to write their response in English and then translate it to Spanish. I highly, highly, highly um I don't suggest that because remember that your Spanish way of thinking would not be that of your English, right? You're far advanced in your English than that of the Spanish. So try to immediately keep your responses in Spanish, right? So that is suggested. So right, to any responses?
Also, I want to add that please, guys, it don't try to go for something really complicated. It's 3 marks, whether you write a whole paragraph in a sentence or you keep it simple. Once you have the key points, you still get the 3 marks. So don't try to do anything outlandish. Don't try to do anything too much. Keep it very simple while still answering the question. Just to minimize any errors. If you try one way and you realize you don't know how to say it in Spanish, regroup and try a different way. You don't need to do too much, I want to say. Just keep it simple to minimize errors.
Okay, we see one response in the chat for Danica.
Oh, okay. There's a response in the chat from Chris saying, "Seguro que nosotros hablemos mañana." Well, I don't believe you can do the. I'm sorry, we call it over the internet. I don't remember, but that's fine. I'm sure you remember to do it when you're writing. Okay, so that can answer the last part about suggesting another. Well, it says suggesting another meeting time. Mañana. It says time specifically. Um, Rowan, do you think they really need to put the time part, right? I think
I
time
would. Uh, yeah, I, I
since
I
there's another
would.
in time, I really would
Mhm.
suggest a specific time. And thank you for your response. Do you have any ideas about what he could say about saying why practice was cancelled? So, okay, since it says practice and coach and team, I think it would be nice if, although I said to keep it simple, I think it would be nice if you could put some part about training in it or something like that. Yes. Yeah. So good attempt. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So could you put that all in one sentence? So say it's raining, so we'll meet tomorrow at a specific time, or we'll train tomorrow at a specific time. You can say probably because of the rain. Could you put it in a sentence? What? That's a good idea. Training is canceled because of rain, so we'll train tomorrow at a specific time. Do you have any ideas for the time? What to say at a time, in the morning, the evening? Does anybody else have any ideas apart from Chris?
Guys, please remember that it's a very interactive session. So the less you participate, the harder it would be for not only us to, you know, dialogue with you, but for you to understand and get something from this. So it's better to, you know, type out the mistakes, talk out the mistakes so we can correct them. All right. So please at least attempt.
Yes, it's important that you make the mistakes before the exam so we can see and correct any misconceptions. So please, guys, please participate. It's only going to benefit you. Okay, I see another response from V. Williams. Tengo una emergencia, podemos reunirnos mañana para práctica a las 5 de la tarde. Okay, very complete answer. I have an emergency. We can tomorrow for practice at 5 in the evening. And another response from Hannah. Mi mamá está enferma, así que nos reuniremos el sábado a mediodía. Okay, so those two responses, they have the important parts, why practice was canceled and suggesting another time. So brilliant. Thank you very much for your response. Also, Chris, that I don't think for your response, the verb sugerir, you're missing an I. So for the yo form, it's Sugiero. So you're missing an I from that verb. Yes. So for future reference, it's Sugiero, not Sugero. Um, yeah, and you can see an example on the screen that Sharon just typed. So either of those three responses are fine. As I said, once you hit the important points, saying why it was canceled. In the case on the screen, it's canceled because of the rain. And for the both in the chat, one because of an emergency and the other because his mother is sick. And suggesting another meeting time. And as you can see, at 2. And in the chat, B. Williams said at 5 and Brennan midday. So all of those responses are good responses. And thank you for your participation in that one. And as I said to Chris, next time when you're conjugating, don't forget the I. Are you good to move on to the next question? Your best friend is about to enter an important competition and wants your advice on choice of clothing. Write the text message you send to him or her insisting on how he or she should dress. So, important points you need to hit is just, well, send a message saying how you think he or she should dress for the competition. So, any ideas? Any ideas for this one? Guys, you don't have to put anything complicated, honestly. Um, for me, I just say something like, okay, Chris, okay, first one. So Chris said, yo recomiendo que reciba la ropa de forma. Um, creo que deberías usar lo que te resulte cómodo. Okay, so thank you for those responses, guys. Chris, you're recommending um, any other responses? Any other ideas? Okay. Okay, I quiero camisa roja con los pantalones negros. Okay. Um, okay, thank you very much for your responses. Um, for this, formal clothes, I don't think there's a day in there. As you can see on the screen, it's ropa formal. I don't think it's ropa de formal. But apart from that, yeah, this vestida la ropa formal. Okay. Um,
And sorry to cut you, but Kadion, what are you trying to say here? I just want to ensure that what you're thinking is what we correct. All right, those responses are good. O hay que llevar tu camisa. V. Williams, what are you trying to say here? I just want to confirm. You know, it would be a lovely use of the tener que plus infinitive. Anybody know what the tener que means? Tener and que. I use the verb tener plus the que. Right, to have to. So I prefer the use of tener que instead of I que in this situation. Right? Um, so but so tener que plus the infinitive. Right? Um, so it tiene que, or well, it's talking to your friend, right? So tienes que llevar tu camisa roja con los pantalones negros. So that would have been an excellent use of the tener que, right? But right, answer sounding good so far. Dominica, you want to continue?
Great, thank you. Your aunt from abroad is visiting soon. Write the message she sends to your father saying how she's feeling about visiting and why. So again, the points you need to hit: how is she feeling? Why is she feeling that way? So, so any ideas?
I also want to point out something important here, guys. The essence of understanding what we're answering. Remember, it didn't talk anything about us. The prompt is that our aunt from abroad is coming down, right? The message that she sends to your father, which would have been her brother, right? Um, about how she's feeling and why. So they were looking at that as well. So we could give some scenarios around that, right? But let's see where we go from here. And then right here, Chris, you'd have lost some marks because you
Yeah.
said, right, because you said, ella se siente muy contento porque ella quiere ver nuestro. Um, so I'm assuming that you want to say that she feels very happy because she um, essentially can see us. But remember, what the question asks for is your aunt sending a message to her father, right? So what you said is that she feels, right? And that's not necessarily the question. So the message should be in the perspective of the aunt. So if I am the aunt, I should be using the your form, Understand what I'm saying? So your form should be here. Right. So I want you to reword that for me. Um, I can also mention something about the father if you want to say mi hermano. Um, and then you can just restructure what you have here and turn it to fit the scenario. Emika?
Yes, so I was gonna say the same thing. So you can reword that so we can see how you put it in the yo form. And I can see Brenna has a response. Estoy emocionada porque no te he visto en mucho tiempo. And great response, great example of what Aaron was talking about. Since the aunt is sending a message, she's speaking from her perspective. So I'm the aunt, I'm going to say I am. So good response. Um, haven't seen him all the time, so I am excited and okay. Um, and another one. So this is another one from the aunt's perspective. Your father, so that's her brother. So hello, my brother. I'm happy to visit you because I want to see you and the rest of the family. So yes, thank you for the responses, guys. And Chris, can restructure your sentence to be in the your form so we can see what you do in that case.
Kilian, quick question. I see where you have estoy feliz visitarte porque quiero verte a ti y al resto de la familia. Explain the verte a ti for me. Overall, the response is a good response. All right. Can we look at some other responses in the meantime? Emika?
Wait, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Repeat?
No, I thought you called my name. Do you want me to move on to the other one in the
Oh,
meanwhile?
no. I was just saying that we can move on now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, well, Kanan respond. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but Kanan responded in the chat to your question. She wants to see her brother and the rest of the family. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
So
I think he wanted you to explain specifically the quiero verte a ti and not just translate the entire response. Like, why exactly did you phrase it that way? Am I right?
right, it's just the ati right here. Because remember that verte means, well, the response here, because I want to see you. Quiero verte, I want to see you. Um, and the rest of the family would have been al resto de la familia, so the ati wouldn't necessarily need to be here.
Okay. Um, your community is having a variety concert and asks participants to send an email saying what they will be doing and how much time they will need. Write the email that you send. So remember, you can most important points to hit here is what you will be doing at the concert and how much time will you need. So, anybody have any ideas? Any responses? Remember, doesn't have to be the full thing, just an idea or a hit, anything. Okay, so it's your response. Esta de cantar una canción y necesita 5 minutos. Okay, so thank you for your response. And yeah, very simple, to the point, but hitting everything that they ask for. You'll be singing a song and you'll need 5 minutes. Thank you for that response. Anybody else have any ideas? Okay, so next one. You have to wake up early tomorrow morning. Write the message you leave on your brother's bed, requesting a wake up call, giving the reason. So, points we need to hit here, requesting the wake up call and the reason for the early wake up call. So, anybody has any ideas? Okay, so Thank you for that response. Despiértame a las 5, por favor. Mis deberes. So, hitting all the points, keeping it simple. Wake me up at 5, please, because I need to complete my homework. Thank you for that response. Any other responses? Any other ideas? There's an example on, okay. Pues, porque tengo que estudiar para mis exámenes. Okay, so as Ruan was mentioned in a previous question, I love the use of the tener que. Very nice. However, the porque in this sentence is because. So because and why are both porque, but the one you've used here is why and not because. So why it is por space que, but because it's all in one word. Okay. But other than that, it's a nice response. Thank you very much. Yeah, other ideas, and also there's an example on the screen.
Malachi, I see that you have your mic open. Would you like to give a response or an accident?
Rowan,
Mm-hmm.
Alas says, I think you made a little error right there.
Oh, oops.
But yeah, so I'm loving the responses you've been getting so far. Very nice. So you guys,
sorry to cut you down. A quick suggestion here. I see where Z Williams put despiértame a las 5, por favor. Necesito completar mis deberes. However, that's a perfect response. Well, it's a really good response. But my only gripe here is that you use a command form. Not that anything is necessarily wrong with it per se, because the question could give that answer. But my again, examiners can be a bit funny depending on who is marking your paper. So especially seeing that it said requesting a wake-up call, that to me normally suggests a more, you asking, not necessarily giving a command for them to do. So I, again, personal opinion, would more than likely use a more integrative approach. Can you do that for me? Are you able to? You know, I understand, because trust me, the use of the command here works well as well. But seeing that it's a requesting a wake-up call, I would have used the interrogative form of the response. But nevertheless, it's a good response. I don't see you not getting 3 marks for that though. Puede levantarme a las 5, por favor. Porque, again, guys, remember porque, as Danica highlighted, the por space que means why. Porque, as one word, means because. So please, you lose marks for that. So notice the join here that I have. The join, there's a difference with this space. So porque means because, and porque means why. All right, so take note of that. And tengo que estudiar para mi sección. So that's good. All right. So we can keep it going, Dominica?
okay. Your mother sends a text message to her doctor asking what she should do to ease her headache. Write the doctor's response. advising her on two things she can do. So, guys, remember when you're reading the question, please give them what they ask for. If they ask for two things, give them two things. Don't give them one. Will not get full marks. Okay. But yeah. Um, any ideas? Okay, so debes beber mucha agua y descansar mucho. So he gave two recommendations: drink lots of water and sleep. Okay, rest. Sorry. Well, thank you for that response. Le recomiendo beber más agua y acostarse más temprano. Okay, so and another one is tomar medicina y ir a cama. Yo recomiendo que tú bebas
Uh,
agua.
and something just to suggest, Brianna, while Dominica reads. Um, Here again, the question to me is it's giving off a advisory role. Yes, the
Mhm.
doctor should know and they can speak off of facts, but here it's giving more of a advisement. What are your suggestions, right? So in this case, although you can use the deber, which means must, um, I would kind of lean towards the you can. Just like how V. Williams used the recommended or pienso que. I think it's a lovely time to also use the subjunctive sense, right? So I would suggest or I think that um because here the must is more again kind of telling you that you have to do this. Um it's more of a advisory role. Yes, again, it can work. Don't get me wrong, it can work. But it would be um more recommending. Um right.
Chris, I see you have two names, beauty medicina. Is that a typo? What was meant to be there? Okay, Toveras. Okay. Toveras más agua y tomes medicamento. And I can reiterate what everyone said, that we can use the suggest. That's a nice one. Um, recommend. That's another nice verb that you can use. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for your responses. Can we move on?
Oh, well, a little well, punctuation, I guess. Point here. Um Although I'm assuming it's because we're typing, but we also have to remember that the to form. Remember the accent over the U. That one is you versus your, right? So the your goes without the accent, but it's just because I can't put in the accent here, it's not there. But remember the accent over the U, that is the you, and your is the one without the accent. So here the perfect use of the subjunctive tense here. All right. So let's keep it moving. And that's an excellent point as well, V. William. Since the doctor is speaking with a patient, shouldn't usted be used rather than to? I agree with that. So we would change to what, guys? Just want to confirm if you guys know it. Should, because we're going into the exam. So what do we change to from here? Come, guys.
Would they penalize them because the doctor? I mean, the mother sent a text message to the doctor. That's kind of informal to me. But I
Wait, go
get what.
again?
No, I was just saying that the mother is sending a text message to the doctor, so
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. Again, I don't, I don't wrong the use of the two, and I don't get me wrong too, but I don't know what the examiner would interpret.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
that's the only problem that I have. So that is my only problem with the examiner. So here, okay. So if we're using the usted form, so here, okay. So it wouldn't be bebas. What would it be? Beba, masagwa, right? Right, Chris. What beba? And instead of Thomas, it'd be Tome. Right? Sugiero que beba más agua y tome medicamentos. Good. All right. Next question.
Your school is having a fundraiser and each student is supposed to contribute an item. Write the note that your teacher sends to your mother stating what item you need to contribute and its due date. So remember the perspective that the question is asking you to come from. The teacher is sending a note to the mother. So you're writing from the perspective of the teacher. So remember that. Key points, what item, and the due date. So, any ideas?
And also, guys, please don't use your real names. Um, because I'm sure that the exams are marked anonymously. So please don't put your name, or if you want to use a name, don't use a realish name, just like a Bob or a Julio or don't use your real names. All right? Yeah. So you can go right ahead. The chance.
Yes, please. No identify information. Don't put your address. If they ask you what address, put a fake one. Don't put your real
Right.
name, anything like
Yeah.
that, please.
Yes. All right, we have a response here.
Okay.
Senor,
Oh,
Simon, go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, all right. Señora, su hija necesita contribuir. Lovely use of the contribute. Una torta de piña para la feria el 26 de mayo. All right. Okay. Needs to contribute. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Any other suggestions? Good one, V. Williams.
Also, I like to add, guys, sometimes if you don't really know the names of something, it's not really required to put it. So you could just say, su hija necesita contribuir una torta de piña el 26 de mayo. So, yeah, because I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but is Feria fundraiser? Is that the correct word for fundraiser? I'm not sure, but if you're not sure about it, then you don't really need to put the name exactly. Okay, any more? Anyone else?
Alrighty. Um, let's see the response here from Hola señora, tu hijo tiene que traer 2 litros de leche antes de mayo. All right. It wouldn't been so you're saying before the 5th of May. Because remember that we said before May 5, and that's our quote unquote chat bad language. We need to say before the 5th of May. So what we need here, Kadion, or Kadon, I should say, um, de leche antes del, del. So de plus L.
No, they put it below. They
Oh, I'm
corrected
assuming.
it
Oh,
at the
oh,
bottom.
oh, 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 okay. All
Yeah.
right, I didn't see that. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Right. Also, the question you didn't. I think I missed out on something here. Remember that it said write the note that the teacher sent to your mother stating what item. What you have here is items. 2 litros de leche. All right. So singularize it. All right. Because what we're trying to do, guys, is avoid losing any minor marks because of things like these. All right. Because I want to go for the best. This section should be the section to get us the most marks. All right. So Remember, if it asks for one thing, give them one thing. If it asks for two things, give them two. Don't give any more. Don't give any less. All right, exactly what they asked for. They don't want them to have any questions. All right. Were there any more responses? Su hijo tiene que tomar una libro por la fiesta en el 20 de abril. All right. That's a book. It's a fundraiser. Well, then again, it could be. Okay. 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 Okay, good response, Chris. Alrighty. All right. H. You can go ahead, Danica.
Um, your neighbor asks you to buy him or her an item from the grocery store, but forgot to give you details about this item. Write the text message that you got from your neighbor with the two details. And sorry, not to cut you. Before we move on to the next question, for Chris, your response, um, you have, yes, you have tiene que tomar una libro. And remember the libro, the noun, is masculine. So you wouldn't have una libro. You have un libro. Just like how earlier you can see villains use una torta, not un torta because it's feminine. So I will put una libro, but un libro. And tomar, as
Right.
Williams distraer around tomar. Yes, because tomar, when I think of tomar, I think mostly to take as in food, drink, medication. Traer is a better
Right.
verb to bring. So you need to bring rather than take. So yeah. Thank you for that, B. Williams. So and again, as you have fiesta en el 20 de abril. Guys, as I said, it's a fundraiser, it's not a party. Please, if you don't know, they never say you have to use that fundraiser in the answer. If you don't know what the noun is, you can leave it out. It's perfectly fine to just say, su hijo tiene que traer un libro. And the date. You don't need to say for a fundraiser because they might take off marks if you have fiesta when it says a fundraiser. Fiesta and fundraiser. I mean, I guess if you have a fundraiser, it can be a party, but it's not one and the same. They're not synonyms. So please, if you don't know the word for fundraiser, leave it out. You don't need to put it back. Okay, guys? Okay. So your neighbor asks you to buy him or her an item from the grocery store, but forgot to give you details about this item. Write the message that you get from your neighbor with the two details. So any ideas? Okay, so as your response, lo siento, me gustaría un litro de leche de almendras, por favor. Okay, so thank you very much for your response. Um, two details that they forgot to mention. So a liter and it's almond milk. So thank you very much for that response. Any other responses? Well,
Any other responses, guys? Alrighty, D'Amico.
Yeah. Okay. Your cousin has just returned from a trip abroad. Write the Instagram message he or she sent you saying what he or she liked most and least about the trip. So, key points to hit: what he or she liked most and what he or she liked least about the trip. I think it's important to remember most and least. Not just saying what they like, but what they like most. So, any ideas? Ok, esa es el response. Me gustó el hotel, pero no me gustó la comida. Okay, thank you very much for that response. Um, I like that's a good response. However, I'd recommend using something to say what you like, what he or she liked most and least. I guess because they use the word most and least rather than just saying what you liked and what you didn't like. So yes, if you could add most, least, something to say that, what I liked the most, what I liked the least, that would be nice. Um, RJ, me gusta el más las playas, pero me gusta las Um, mm, me gusta el más. So, but you have las playas, then you have me gusto el más. This this phrasing is kind of off to me. First of all, remember the verb gustar. The If you're using plural versus singular, then it changes. So you'd put me gusto and el más. Um, I wouldn't say me gusto el más las playas because it's las playas. So you'd have to use the plural version of it. Um, Similar for the me gustó el menos las calles and the me gustó el más. The phrasing, I don't like that phrasing. I'm sorry. It's so yeah. I would say may yeah. Well, please rephrase it to fix the subject verb agreement because las playas is plural and me gusto is not. So yeah, and me encantó mucho el hotel, pero no me gustó nada. El hotel fue lo que me gustó más y me gustó menos la comida. Okay, thank you very much, B. Williams, for that. So nice. El hotel fue lo que me gustó más y me gustó menos la comida. I really like that response. Lo que me gustó, the nice way to phrase it. Thank you very much for that response. Me gustó la experiencia, but pero no me gustó la comida. Okay. So I like it, but Rowan, I'm not sure. Is it that important for them to put the most and least? Because I think most and least is very, very specific phrasing. Like they could have said what he or she, one thing he or she liked and one thing he or she did not like. But they said what he or she liked most and least. So I really think they're looking for you saying most and least specifically rather than just I liked the experience, but I didn't like the food. So
Yeah. Or
B.
or
Williams said,
or or what I can also suggest is that if we don't want to use and the least, you have to use words that would suggest that you like that most and like it least. So for example, I hated the flight. So then me odio el vuelo, for example. So you have to kind of use words that suggest that, oh, I probably that area that never like for real. So
yeah, rather than just
yeah,
I liked, I didn't like.
that's
But
correct.
I really like the response. El hotel fue lo que me gustó más y me gustó menos la comida. So yeah, if for example you don't know, that's one way you can say what you liked most. Lo que me gustó más or me gustaron más. Any other ideas? Okay, do you want to move on to the next one? Okay, during the pandemic, persons are instructed to do specific things while inside the airport. Write the sign that you see on entering the airport with two of these specific instructions. So again, when you read the instructions, look at what specifically that seems to be highlighted. So persons are instructed. I think that's very specific phrasing, and ask you for two things you'd see that people should do during the pandemic in the airport. So any ideas? Okay, so um I see some responses in the chat. Well, a response. Favor de llevar una mascarilla y mantener una distancia de 2 metros. Um, okay, so I see you corrected it from mascarilla to mascara. Could you tell me why you did that specifically? I like the response. Maintain a distance of 2 meters and wear a mask. But why did you change it to mascara instead of mascarilla? Okay, so you had it right the first time. Mascara is used for masks, like I guess if you want to use that example, like a John mask, I guess. While mascarilla is the one for masks that we use during the COVID pandemic for protection from the elements. So you had it right the first time. Um, any other ideas? Any other responses? Okay, thank you for that response. Um, Rowan, do you want to move on? Okay, so it's time for the letter. Do you want to take over this section?
Well, I can make them today. All right. Thank you, Anika. Alrighty. So, guys, we are now entering on the section, the letter section. And it says to use the following outline as a guide to write a letter. Again, please pay attention to the word limit. 130 to 150 words in Spanish. Use the tense is appropriate to the topic. Again, you'll be penalized for disregarding these instructions. And let's read together. It says, you have just returned from eating at a new restaurant. Write a letter to your Guatemalan friend Enrique about your experience. Be sure to include why, when, and with whom you went to the restaurant, the details about the restaurant and why you ordered, something interesting that happened and their reaction, and plans to return to that restaurant with Enrique when he visits. So we know that it should be something good that we're talking about because you're talking about the plans to return. Please don't twist this to suit your liking. Once the examiner said, this is how you're going to do it, this is how you're going to do it, right? Yes, querido Enrique is okay. So what I want to do is probably just give you guys about 10, 15, 20 minutes. We're just gonna take a quick pause while you guys attempt this, and I want you guys to send your response in the chat so we can go through it quickly, right? So please, guys, attempt this. We're gonna pause for about 15 minutes. So we're gonna regroup at around 4:50, the latest. So what that should do is give you guys some time to answer this because I want you guys to really attempt and provide us with the answers so we can go through, right? Everybody please attempt so we can look through, all right? Please. So we're gonna pause about 20 minutes while you attempt the question, all right? Right, it's querido and not quierdo. Querido. There. All right. Do we have any oops. Do we have any ready for us now? Any fully written letters, or do we still want some more time? Guess the silence means that you want some more time. So we give you guys about 5 more minutes, and then hopefully we'll have some. All right. So should have now ample time to have written, and I'm definitely seeing a response here from V. Williams, which I'd love to share with the the General Assembly, I should say here. So let's just reread the question before I share V. Williams's response. So remember that we have a friend named Enrique, right? So we just returned from eating at a new restaurant. Write a letter to your Guatemalan friend Enrique about your experience. Be sure to include why, when, and with whom you went to the restaurant, detail about the restaurant and what you ordered, something interesting that happened in a reaction, and some plans to return to that restaurant with Enrique when he visits. So now let me project the response of V. Williams so we can get some further perspective. Can anybody confirm that they're seeing the screen properly? The
Yes.
response. Awesome. All right. So let's go. So have the date top right. Good. Dear Enrique, ¿qué hay de nuevo? What's new? And your family. Espero que todos estén bien. All right. Hace mucho tiempo no hablamos. Te escribo para contar mi experiencia de anoche. Ayer fue el cumpleaños de mi abuelo. Por eso toda la familia extendida fue al restaurante. Full stop right there. Um, Ponderosa. Oh, al restaurante Ponderosa. Oh, para cenar a las 7 de la noche. Es un restaurante lujoso y la comida es muy buena. Yo pedí camarones a la parrilla con arroz frito, mi plato favorito. La comida fue para chuparse los dedos. Después de comer la cena, todos, todos dimos regalos a abuelito. Cantábamos la canción de cumpleaños. Cuando Bad Bunny nos acercó y empezó a cantar con nosotros. ¡Qué sorpresa! Él decidió felicitar a mi abuelo, puesto que estaba en el restaurante. Saqué muchas fotografías con él y recibí su autografía en mi servilleta. Tenemos que cenar allí cuando vengas a visitarme. Sé que tú vas a gozar de la comida, pues tengo que estudiar para mi examen de español. Saludos a tu familia por mi parte. Tu amigo que te quiere, Sal. Alrighty, excellent response here, V. Williams. Let's see if you hit for all the points that you were supposed to hit. Let's just double check that. So why, when, and with whom you went to the restaurant. So you did in fact say why for your granddad's birthday. Um, when, or I guess last night, de anoche. And with whom, the extended family. All right, good. So you hit those points. Uh, the details about the restaurants and why you ordered and what you ordered, sorry. So you said that it's a very good restaurant, and the food is good. Um, okay, good. Your favorite dish. All right, good. So you hit those points. Something interested that happened in your reaction. So we were singing the birthday song when Bad Bunny um essentially got up and started singing with you guys. What a surprise. All right, lovely. Good. And plans to return when he visits, and you said that here with tenemos que cenar allí cuando vengas a visitarme. Okay, good. So you hit the points there. It's a lovely response. And how many words with this view, William? Did you do a word check? Um, So how many words this is? Please remember that the words are important. So that's a lovely response, V. Williams. We have to keep in check with our words. Right, but good, very good response. Anybody else before we?
1 second before you move on.
Oh, you want me to bring up back
You will-
the
yes, please.
all right, 1 second. I'm seeing it now.
The bottom part is cut off.
All right, you should be seeing it now.
Okay, yes, I'm seeing it now. So lovely response, as Ron said, a really, really nice response. Um, right here we have Camarones a la parrilla. I think there's a typo there. I think there's a typo there. So yes, I think there's a typo there, and it's a double R, double L. So yeah, right there, that's not how it's spelled. It's double R, double L. Um, and at the end you have saludos a tu familia por mi parte. That's correct. You could put saludos a tu familia de mi parte, but that's fine. Yes. So that's the only corrections I see. Nice paragraph, beautiful paragraph. Although you said it was too long. Be careful of that. Try to stay within the bounds of the word limit they give you. Don't go under, don't go over, please. Yeah, please stay within the bounds of the word limit they give you because they might remove marks for going over or under the word limit. But yes, beautiful paragraph. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Uh, Even if the date count and their greeting is not counted, I still wouldn't want us to rely on those being a part of the 1/3 to 150. So don't really count them, but count them if you get what I'm saying. So please don't rely on that being, because at the end of the day, I also think it's up to the discretion of the examiners. I don't know if it's counted, but again, to be on the safe side, try your best to ensure that everything is within the 1/3 to 150. Right. So any other comments, any other responses? So yes, V. Williams, 177 is quite lengthy, but again, it's just a matter of maximizing words and the effectiveness of the words as well. So it makes no sense that we beat around the bush, ensure that we're hitting the points that we're supposed to hit, because it's really easy to go past the word limit, and then especially if you're writing in pen, you don't want to have to cross over, redo, and just let's try to keep the descriptions, everything to a minimum, and ensure that all the points are hit. All right. The contextual dialogue. Demika, you want to go through this one? Or should I?
Sure. In the blank spaces provided, complete the dialogue between you and your friend's mother. Give your responses in Spanish using between 80 and 100 words. Your friend's mother, Mrs. Marcano, wants to plan a surprise birthday party for your friend and asks for your help. Write the dialogue between you and Mrs. Marcano, giving your responses. Responses to all of the cues listed below must be included in the complete dialogue. Discussion on venue and time of the party, who will be invited, activities at the party, how your friend will be surprised, and inquiry about the birthday cake and refreshment. So, guys, please read the instructions and please ensure to follow all the instructions they give you. If they give you a word count, please stay in the bounds of that word count. Please respond in Spanish and try to hit all the points they ask you to. So, complete the dialogue below. Señora Marcano, Ana va a cumplir 16 años y quiero darle una fiesta de sorpresa. ¿Qué opinas? So, anybody have any ideas on how you could respond to that? Any ideas at all? Maybe you could scroll up a bit so they could see the points that I asked them to hit while keeping the parts that Senora said in there. Rowan?
No responses, anyone? So let's go through the thing of the response in the chat. Um, it's saying here, give your response in. So guys, also remember the word limits, right? 80 to 100 words. Okay, please. Um, your friends, mother, kind of friends. So we're gonna discuss the venue, time, and party. Who will be invited, the activities at the party, or your friend will be surprised and inquire. So please ensure that we're answering these, right? And Delmita, the the the, the where was I? You have to ensure, guys, that we read before and after because it also provides some sort of um context. And do you see here the examiner has the question marks, right? So it suggests that we're supposed to be asking a question that would prompt this. Okay? So go ahead now. So Ana va cumplir 16 años y quiero darle una fiesta de sorpresa. ¿Qué opinas?
So I see some
Uh,
responses in the chat.
right? Wait, go again.
No, I was just saying I see some people responding in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Chris said, yo,
Is that supposed to be Creole, Chris?
yeah, I'm assuming it's Creole.
What are you? Could you let us know what you're saying? Are you saying I think it's a good idea? Yo creo estás bien idea. It's a mistake. Could you please correct the mistakes and send it again so we can see clearly what you're
Yeah,
saying?
if we can follow.
Yo pienso que esta una idea buena y ella será contenta cuando estás pensando. Okay, and I see you corrected it. So guys, remember verbs like pensar, even though in the geo form it's pienso, it's pensando. So I see you corrected that. I never did it right. Could you retype it with the corrections, Chris? That would be lovely. Williams, qué buena idea. ¿Cuándo, a qué hora y dónde es la fiesta? Okay. Thank you guys for the responses.
I like V. Williams's response. Well, I like
Yes,
all the responses, but V. Williams, I think kind of hits it.
all the points. Because
Yeah,
remember
hits all the points.
the second part. Bueno, estaba pensando en este sábado aquí en casa a eso de las 6 de la tarde. So you know your question should prompt Senora Marcano to say the when she's thinking of, where she's thinking of, and what time she's thinking of. So you hit all the points right there. You say, ¿Cuándo estabas pensando, RJ? That's saying, when are you thinking? But your question also prompted Senator Marcano to say the time and also where. So I think V. Williams really hit it on the ball right there. Also, yeah, so esta una idea buena. I esta una idea buena. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't use esta una idea buena. I think you'd say yo pienso que es una idea buena. No, I think that's the correct way to phrase it. You can say yo pienso que esta es una idea buena or yo pienso que es una idea buena. But yes, thank you very much. We can move on to the next one. So, Señora Marcano says, bueno, estaba pensando en este sábado aquí en casa a eso de las 6 de la tarde. And your response should also prompt Señora Marcano to say, yo lo sé, pero será más difícil organizarla en la playa. Tal vez podemos tenerla en el club de la comunidad porque allí hay una piscina, pero no sé a quién invitar. So read the top, read what you're responding to, and also what the next response must be in dialogue. And also keep in mind the word count. Okay, guys, so any ideas of what the next response could be? Also, Everybody understands what Senora Marcano is saying, right? Does anybody need any help translating what is being said? You can let us know in the chat and also let us know what you think the next response could be. Okay, so I say response in the chat from B. Williams. ¿Será difícil organizar una fiesta en casa? ¿Por qué no vamos a la playa? Okay, thank you very much for that response, B. Williams. Again, nice response. The answers, you're responding to her saying that she wants to keep it at home, and you're saying it would be difficult organizing a party at home. Why not at the beach? And that also takes into consideration her next response, which is basically, I know, but it would be more difficult to organize it at the beach. Thank you very much for that response, B. Williams. Anybody else have any other ideas? Okay, so anybody has any ideas for the next response? La casa es muy aburrida. Yo puedo tener, I think that's a type of beer. Tenerla en la playa porque ella gusta nadar. Okay, thank you. Well, I shouldn't say glad, but you doing this brings up something I really want to emphasize. Guys, remember the verb gustar and how it is used. Okay, guys, remember gustar, how you use the verb gustar. Gustar means basically um to please. And when you're using gustar, you don't say yo gusto. That's that would be I please. You'd say me gusta, which means it pleases me. I like to do whatever. So for ella, you wouldn't say ella gusta, she pleases, but a ella le gusta nadar. Okay? So please remember, keep that into consideration. But this is very boring. I can um ah, yo puedo tenerla en la playa. Yo puedo. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so the first part saying the house is boring, lovely, but yo puedo tenerla en la playa. I can have it in the beach. That phrasing is a bit odd in the situation, especially since you're conversing with her mother. I can have it in the beach. Yeah, I don't think that phrasing is the best. Um, yeah, yo puedo tenerla en la playa. So please keep that into consideration. Verb to start is not used like that, and especially since you're not keeping the party yourself. You're helping to plan it with someone else. So podemos tenerla en la playa porque a ella le gusta nada. I think that's a much better way to phrase it. So yeah, I think that would be a better way to phrase it. Um, so does anyone have any idea for the next response? Remember, look at the beginning first and the second parts of the response, what you need to say. So any ideas? Any ideas? Okay, so as a response, podemos invitar a sus amigos y a la señora Marcano, su profesora favorita. Y- Um, you, I see right here you have podemos invitar a sus amigos y a la señora Marcano, su profesora favorita. Okay. Um, Thank you very much for your response. But I have a question. So you have a la señora Marcano, su profesora favorita. But that's her mom's name, Señora Marcano. Am I missing something? You can clear that up for me. What you saying right there, y a la Señora Marcano, su profesora favorita. Are you saying that la Señora Marcano is her favorite teacher because that's her mom's name? RJ, tú puedes invitar a sus amigos y Señora Rodríguez porque ella es su profesora favorita. Okay, thank you. Um, I would use puedes instead of puedas because it's not, it's more of a suggestion. Like, also, Yeah, it's more for suggestions. I'd say, tú puedes invitar a sus amigos y a Señora Rodriguez porque ella es su profesora favorita. So those are the corrections I need for that. Yeah. I didn't realize that the teacher is Senora Maria. Okay, thank you very much. So brilliant response. Yeah, so teacher has a different name. Cool. And okay, so that's the only correction I made to yours, RG. Is everyone good to move on? Okay. Um, what's the next response? What do you guys have any ideas for the next response? Any ideas for the next response? Okay, so vale, podemos jugar juegos de mesa como Yahtzee, Twister y Bongo. Thank you very much for that response, B. Williams. And yeah, so I like your response. We can play word games like Yahtzee, Twister, and Bongo. That definitely takes care of the parts where she says she don't know those games and but I think in your response, since Senora Marcano says son excelentes ideas, that sounds like you mentioned more than one ideas. So one idea is you can play board games. I think you should have another idea that includes talking about music, since she says me puedes ayudar a escoger la música. So I think you should say something about music, and you can keep your board games since you said plural ideas. So it's not just one idea, multiple ideas. But thank you for the response. Yeah, so maybe you could correct that and resend it if you wish. In the meantime, let's look at the next response. So son es no puedes ayudar a escoger la música y los juegos. No conozco estos juegos, pero ¿cómo vas a sorprender a Ana? So remember, look at the beginning and the ending, not ending, sorry, the response before and the response after, and use that to formulate your response. So anybody, any ideas for the next one? Okay, so thank you for that correction. A ella le encanta la música de Jungkook y Byron Messiah. También podemos jugar. So thank you very much for that correction. And reminder to everyone, encantar works the same way as gustar. As you can see, B. Williams did properly did it. A ella le encanta. A ella le gusta. So remember that when conjugating your gustar. So any ideas for the next response? Anybody with any ideas? Remember, guys, it's better to make any mistakes before the exam and it can be corrected. Okay. Typing out the answer, it doesn't matter. There's never any reason to not respond. You're all, but I think we're all English speakers. So if you make a mistake, no one is going to say, how did you make that mistake? Okay. So please don't feel uncomfortable or shy. Please try to respond to the question. Please, guys. Okay, so um is it that you guys are having trouble with that one? Do you guys want an example response? Okay, so I'm seeing in the chat, could you scroll up a little bit more, Ron, please? Thank you. Yo le preguntaré ir de compras conmigo y vamos a ir a la piscina con nuestros amigos después. So, okay, thank you much for that response. And Chris said C. C as in yes, as in you want an example response, you're having issues.
All right, hold on, Delmika. What I suggest we do, because we have to kind of close off soon. I don't want to not go through section 4 as well.
Okay.
So what I want us to do, guys, what we'll do, seeing that we have to close off in, well, practically no. What we will do, we're gonna send this paper in the WhatsApp group, right? And I want everybody to go through it and try to attempt it as well, right? Um, Especially in section 4, and then put your responses in the chat. so we can better communicate from there, right? But this was, I think this would kind of draw the paper to an end. Um, so what we will do is in the group, in the WhatsApp group, everybody should be in there. Um, what we will do is to pick up from here, from section 4 in the WhatsApp group, and we will text in whichever answers that you guys would need help with, as well as navigating the any other issue that you might be having in the paper. We'll respond in there. All right. It's now 5:45. I think we have to facilitate for another session soon. So we thank you all for coming. We hope for nothing but the best in this paper. If there is any questions, you guys can always send in the chat, and we'll more than likely either pick it up or respond. And right, so it's now 5:45.
Also,
Have a
sorry, Ron,
wonderful.
one
Mm-hmm.
before you
Yeah, man.
leave. Guys, I have 2 more years of past papers that we didn't get a chance to go through. So I will send links to those in the group as well. You can attempt them, and as Ron said, send any question you have. I will try to help you. Okay.
Right. So we'll make ourselves available for your questions. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating, those who did. And we hope that we could have facilitated you as best as possible. All right, guys. So will there be another marathon for Spanish? Yes, there will for paper one. That will be, I think it's sometime in June, if I'm not mistaken, or close to the exam. But just double check the Instagram page. I'm trying to remember the date. I think it's sometime in June though. And then you will be notified. But we will give you guys a pre-notice in the WhatsApp group as well. So right. So guys, have a wonderful rest of the day and God bless. Take care. Thank you for coming.